Azure Site Recovery, ASR, is a disaster recovery solution that ensures business continuity by keeping your applications and workloads running during outages. It replicates workloads running on physical and virtual machines, VMs, from a primary site to a secondary location. When an outage occurs at your primary site, you fail over to the secondary location and access your applications from there. Once the primary location is restored, you can fail back to it. ASR supports a wide range of replication scenarios, including Azure to Azure, on-premises to Azure, and even between different Azure regions. Disaster recovery is crucial for any organization to ensure that critical business functions can continue during and after a disaster. It minimizes downtime and data loss, which can have significant financial and reputational impacts. Azure Site Recovery provides a robust and scalable solution to meet these needs, offering automated protection and replication of your workloads. By configuring ASR, organizations can achieve high availability and resilience, ensuring that their services remain accessible even in the face of unexpected disruptions. Azure Site Recovery offers several key features that make it a comprehensive disaster recovery solution. These include continuous replication, which ensures that your data is always up to date, automated recovery plans, which allow you to orchestrate failover and failback processes, and integration with Azure Backup, providing a complete data protection solution. Additionally, ASR supports multi-tier applications, ensuring that all components of your application are replicated and can be recovered together. It also offers customizable recovery plans, allowing you to define the order in which different services are recovered. Setting up Azure Site Recovery involves several steps. First, you need to create a Recovery Services Vault in the Azure portal. This vault will store the replication data and recovery plans. Next, you configure the source and target environments, specifying the VMs and other resources you want to replicate. You then set up replication policies, defining the frequency and retention of replication. Finally, you enable replication and monitor the status of your replicated resources. Throughout this process, Azure provides detailed guidance and best practices to ensure a smooth setup. The first step in configuring Azure Site Recovery is to create a Recovery Services Vault. This vault acts as a storage container for your replication data and recovery plans. To create a vault, navigate to the Azure portal, select Create a Resource, and search for Recovery Services Vault. Follow the prompts to specify the subscription, resource group, and location for the vault. Once created, the vault will be used to manage and monitor your replication and recovery processes. It is important to choose a location that is geographically distant from your primary site to ensure resilience. After creating the Recovery Services Vault, the next step is to configure the source and target environments. The source environment is where your primary workloads are running, and the target environment is where they will be replicated. In the Azure portal, navigate to the Recovery Services Vault and select Site Recovery. Follow the prompts to specify the source environment, which could be an on-premises data center or another Azure region. Then, configure the target environment, ensuring that it has the necessary resources to host the replicated workloads. This step is crucial for ensuring that your disaster recovery plan is effective. Replication policies define how and when your data is replicated to the target environment. In the Azure portal, navigate to the Recovery Services Vault and select Replication Policies. Here, you can create a new policy or modify an existing one. Key settings include the replication frequency, which determines how often data is copied, and the retention period, which specifies how long replicated data is kept. You can also configure app-consistent snapshots, which ensure that all data is in a consistent state at the time of replication. These policies are essential for ensuring that your data is protected and can be recovered quickly. Once the replication policies are set up, the next step is to enable replication for your resources. In the Azure portal, navigate to the Recovery Services Vault and select Replicated Items. Follow the prompts to add the resources you want to replicate, such as VMs, storage accounts, and databases. Azure will then begin the initial replication process, copying data from the source to the target environment. This process can take some time, depending on the size of your data and the network bandwidth. Once the initial replication is complete, Azure will continuously replicate changes to ensure that your data is always up to date. Monitoring the status of your replication is crucial for ensuring that your disaster recovery plan is working as expected. In the Azure portal, navigate to the Recovery Services Vault and select Replicated Items. Here, you can view the status of each replicated resource, including the replication health, last successful replication, and any errors or warnings. Azure provides detailed logs and metrics to help you troubleshoot issues and ensure that your data is being replicated correctly. Regular monitoring allows you to identify and address potential problems before they impact your disaster recovery plan. Recovery plans are essential for orchestrating the failover and failback processes. In the Azure portal, navigate to the Recovery Services Vault and select Recovery Plans. Follow the prompts to create a new plan, specifying the order in which different services should be recovered. You can also add scripts and manual actions to customize the recovery process. Once the plan is created, it is important to test it regularly to ensure that it works as expected. Azure provides a test failover feature that allows you to simulate a disaster and verify that your recovery plan is effective. Failover is the process of switching from the primary site to the secondary site during a disaster. In the Azure portal, navigate to the Recovery Services Vault and select Replicated Items. Follow the prompts to initiate a failover, specifying whether it should be a planned or unplanned failover. Once the primary site is restored, you can initiate a failback to switch back to the original environment. Azure provides detailed guidance and automation to ensure that these processes are smooth and minimize downtime. It is important to regularly test both failover and failback to ensure that your disaster recovery plan is effective. To ensure the effectiveness of your disaster recovery plan, it is important to follow best practices for Azure Site Recovery. These include regularly testing your recovery plans, monitoring replication status, and keeping your replication policies up to date. It is also important to ensure that your target environment has sufficient resources to handle the replicated workloads. Additionally, consider using Azure Backup in conjunction with ASR to provide a comprehensive data protection solution. By following these best practices, you can ensure that your organization is prepared for any disaster and can quickly recover with minimal downtime and data loss. Managing the costs associated with Azure Site Recovery is crucial for ensuring that your disaster recovery solution is cost-effective. Azure provides several tools and features to help you manage and optimize costs, including cost analysis, budgeting, and alerts. In the Azure portal, navigate to Cost Management plus Billing to view detailed cost reports and set up budgets and alerts. Additionally, consider using Azure Reserved Instances and Azure Hybrid Benefit to reduce costs. By regularly reviewing and optimizing your costs, you can ensure that your disaster recovery solution provides maximum value for your organization. To illustrate the effectiveness of Azure Site Recovery, let's look at a case study of a company that successfully implemented ASR. Contoso Ltd., a global manufacturing company, faced frequent outages due to natural disasters. By implementing Azure Site Recovery, they were able to replicate their critical workloads to a secondary Azure region. During a major outage, they successfully failed over to the secondary site with minimal downtime and data loss. The automated recovery plans and continuous replication ensured that their services remained accessible, and they were able to quickly fail back once the primary site was restored. This case study highlights the importance of a robust disaster recovery solution and the benefits of using Azure Site Recovery. In conclusion, Azure Site Recovery is a powerful and comprehensive disaster recovery solution that ensures business continuity by replicating your workloads to a secondary location. By following the steps outlined in this presentation, you can set up and configure ASR to protect your critical resources. Remember to regularly test your recovery plans, monitor replication status, and follow best practices to ensure the effectiveness of your disaster recovery plan. As a next step, consider exploring additional Azure services and features to further enhance your disaster recovery strategy and ensure that your organization is prepared for any eventuality.